Hey guys, how you doing? This is Carm, and I am pregnant with twins, plus size and pregnant with twins, and I wanted to show my belly. First things first, because I am currently 33 weeks pregnant and a couple days. And I want to show you how big everything actually is. I'm so out of breath, like even just from talking and standing here right now. Baby A, because I'm pregnant with twin girls, baby A's head is here, and her butt goes up here and all that good stuff here. Baby B's head is up here, butt's here, and kind of goes like that. So they're all up in there. Yeah, and it's a big belly, but it's my belly. It's where my babies have been the last 33 weeks. So I wanted to show it off. But I also now just want to talk to you guys about how things have been going. And it's a lot, man, but it's been worth it, and I'll tell you what's going on. So today is October 1st, 2023, and initially my due date was November 16th, 2023. That would be 40 weeks, of course. Then they moved that up to a comfortable 37 weeks. When I say comfortable, because that's what the office said their minimum to do a scheduled C-section would be. And that would have been October 26th. Then, after a few different complications in the hospital, which I'll talk about, the maternal fetal medicine and my OBGYN came up with the conclusion that it's best that I try to give birth at 35 weeks, which would have been October 13th. It's a Friday the 13th. And while I'm not super suspicious, I'm still like, little eerie about that date. But I also have a nephew who was born on July 13th. It was a Friday. I've met people born on Friday the 13th. And they're all lovely people, amazing people, healthy people. So we're going to rock and roll with it. And that is the scheduled date. So I technically have about, if today's the 1st, maybe 12 more days or so till they're coming. And I must say, with the scheduled C-section this time around, because I do have a 5-year-old who actually ended up having just a C-section, an emergency C-section 5 years ago. It's nice knowing that there is a date set up in place, that we can make it to that date. Great. If we don't, that's okay though. At this point though, if I were to go in the hospital, they would try to make sure my body's as comfortable and ready for birth, make sure they give steroids to me so that the baby's lungs can develop as rapidly as possible before giving birth. And just keep me well admitted in a hospital basically until those 35 weeks if we can. They just want to make sure those babies get as far along as possible, but that I'm well and they're doing well, of course, and monitor me. So let me just go back a few weeks though, back to August 14th. I was almost 27 weeks at that point. You know what? Let's go back to August 21st. Sorry. I had shivers and a random headache in the middle of the night. But I did realize the next day, because of that, after getting blood work, that I was severely anemic. My numbers were less than 10, which I think it's considered severe if it's less than 10. And so what they had me do is doing iron infusions every few days, and we did a total of 5. That was at about 28 weeks or so. Unfortunately, those numbers, yes, well, they did rise. Now, fast forward weeks later, I'm 33 weeks. The numbers are still low. But because I'm giving birth in less than 2 weeks, they're like, just take iron pills. Let's get you as much iron as possible for now. I'm like, okay. So iron, guys, make sure if you're pregnant, you ask your doctor about your iron levels. I know it can affect baby's growth in there and mom's health. My energy was so low at that point. Excuse me, the iron infusions definitely did help. I'm very gassy, as you can tell too. I belch a lot out of nowhere. Fun stuff. But ask about those. There's iron infusions you can do. You can take pills for it, iron pills. Also, we're going to fast forward a bit because at this point, I'm 33 weeks. It's like So much has happened in between the time of our last video, which I think I ended off at like 24 weeks or so. But we've been doing non-stress tests where they hook up the babies to the monitors and they monitor their heartbeats. Baby A, the entire time, has been rather steady, and they want to see when the baby's heart rates accelerate that they're okay after, or that if I have a Braxton Hicks contraction, that when the rates accelerate, that it's okay. The heart rates are not going wonky. Unfortunately, on the other hand, baby B's rates have been a little wonky. Also, when they go to test practice breathing, that's where they look at the ultrasound and they make sure the babies are breathing. They can see their little, I think it's their lungs or their mouths moving. See, I'm not an expert. Seek the medical advice of your doctor. But baby A was doing her practice breathing right off the bat. Baby B was not. So a couple times in the last few weeks, they had me just go over to labor and delivery, where they take you to triage, they check you out, and either they'll admit you to monitor you a little further, or they'll say, you're looking fine, babies look fine, go home. So I've had a few of those experiences. And being in the hospital, for me, it's reassuring when you're like, okay, at least I'm here, I'm in the best place possible. But also being in the hospital overnight without your family, because I have a 5-year-old and a husband, I would say, go home, rest, go to school, go to work. I'm okay. And if something happens, I will call you. But it sucks. You feel a little alone. I know I did. Hey, I had a few free meals, so that was nice from the hospital. And I got to watch TV and just rest and stuff. But then, you see the sunshine outside, but you're not feeling any sunshine. It's a little surreal. You're not really experiencing life at the moment. You're just being monitored, right? But there's tons of doctors there. Like I said, they were monitoring the baby on ultrasound. They were doing the non-stress test, so they were constantly on the fetal heart rate monitors to watch their heart rates. They were checking my blood pressures every so often. They were making sure they did lab work with me, my blood levels. My white platelets were low steadily, unfortunately, too. But they said, at that point, we're just going to keep watching you. And my blood pressures were looking okay. So I was released basically the several times that I did go to the hospital. Also, since at one point in the hospital, my blood pressures were around the 160s over 80. The bottom numbers were fine, but the top numbers were really getting higher than they wanted. Because anything at 140 over 90, they start getting concerned. They prescribed me labetalol. It's 100 milligrams twice a day. It's a very low dose blood pressure medication, and so far things have been looking good with that. Also, they wanted me to come in for non-stress tests twice a week, and they want to check the baby on ultrasound / check their amniotic fluid once a week and make sure that they're looking okay, right, when they check their hearts and everything. Also, at this point, baby A, this was at the 32-week ultrasound, 32 weeks. Baby B, was measuring about 4.5 pounds. So I was happy about that. Baby A was measuring 5.5 pounds. And I'm like, whoa, that was a little shocking to me. I wanted them to at least be like around 4.5 pounds at 32 weeks because I know they grow quite a bit every week. So with 4.5 plus 5.5, I'm like, okay, that's about 10 pounds, right? In my belly, and that they're just going to keep growing. So my daughter, mind you, was 7 pounds, 6 ounces. And, by ninth month, 3rd trimester, you're feeling it. I've definitely felt like I have full term, ready to go for the last at least week or two now. With twins, man, I started feeling that early. So I will also update you guys maybe a little bit before the birth. Maybe I'm going to try to video some of it, stick in some pictures, etc. But thanks for sticking along. Here we are. Friday the 13th, I'm kind of counting down the days, but also I'm making those days count. I'm spending as much time with my husband, my daughter, my dog, sort of just soaking that all in because life is going to change soon. And it's a beautiful thing. And I'll keep you guys posted. Have a great day. Have a great rest of your pregnancy too. Thanks, fellow twin mamas. If you are, please share down below any of your experiences, if you felt anything similar or maybe totally opposite from us. Yeah, we'd love to hear, and I'd love to hear and comment back. So thanks so much. Have a great day. Over and out.